Hello! As you can probably tell, I'm back in Norway. This is my house. Mentally, I'm gonna go back to Bohol today. Bohol? Bohol. Bohol. I'm gonna say Bohol. I don't know why, it just makes me... that feels right for me. Bohol, the island in the Philippines that we were on not that long ago. The reason why it's not a vlog from Bohol is because one, it was Easter when we were there, so we actually didn't do that much, and two, I started to get sick, like a kind of sinus infection kind of began, so that I was on the way down. So the next video will actually be like this as well, about Siargao, because I was even sicker when we got there, unfortunately. I had a great time, I just didn't have the energy to vlog. So, but I will share with you our experiences, and I'm sure a couple of clips will go as I'm telling you about it, because it was good, and there are things I think you should know. So first of all, how did we get from Molbo to Bohol? On the internet, I think it looked like a lot of options to take the ferry from like the Cebu island to Bohol. I'm gonna check. So before we were there, I did a lot of research and I got the impression that you could either take a ferry from Oslo or Argao or Cebu City. But when we got there and was trying to figure this out, I think Oslo was out of the question. I don't really know why. And then Argao, online it says that the ferry only goes once every day, and I read a couple of different schedules, so we weren't sure. And then we asked the locals and they actually said, we don't know when it's going because the schedule changes every week. And I was like, okay, so there's no place online that we can check it. And they were like, no, you just have to show up and see. So then we were like, okay, let's just go back to Cebu City, because there we know it goes a ferry quite often, actually, at least like 8 times a day, I think. So we took a taxi from Molbo to Cebu. We didn't order tickets in advance because the traffic is crazy. Like on Google Maps, it says that from Molbo to Cebu City, you should spend like 1 hour and 45 minutes. On the way down, it took us over 3 hours. And on the way back, it also took over 3 hours. And that's why we didn't dare to book anything, because we weren't sure of when we were gonna be there. We were also told that it wasn't a problem getting tickets when you got there, that you can just buy them at the harbor. So we did that. We got there, the taxi driver said you can buy tickets there. I think it said OceanJet over there, which was the website that you could order tickets in advance. So we were confident to go there, but on our just the little walk from where the taxi dropped us off to the ticket queue, a lot of people stopped us and was like, the ferry is sold out, there's no more ferries today, but I have a ticket if you want to buy. I have tickets, you can come with me. There's no more ferries, it's sold out. And we were just like, fuck, like, what? We should have ordered in advance. Now we're not gonna get there. Like, what are we gonna do? But a gut instinct told me that, you know, there's still people in queue here. I see people still get help from the desk. So we just stood in the queue, even though still people were like talking to us in the queue, like, there's no tickets, you can buy them from me. Yada, yada, yada. But we stood there, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes in a queue. and we were hoping to catch the next ferry, which was like in an hour, even though it said on the website that you had to show up at the ferry an hour before with your ticket. But we got to the front desk and they said, no, it's okay, you can buy tickets for the next ferry in an hour. And we were like, okay, nice, we paid. We even got to go to the 7-Eleven to buy some snacks and some drinks and went to the ferry. You had to pay a fee, like a harbor fee, to get in. Then it was a security thing. And we were like, fuck, you can't like go with drinks through the security. But that was all right. You just had to hold them like this. And it was good. So we got on the ferry. It didn't go on time. That didn't matter to us. But it took about 2 hours when we first left the harbor. And we then took the boat to Tagbilaran. Yeah, when we got there, there's still no grabs or anything on that island. So there are a lot of taxi drivers, like, again, coming towards you when you go off the boat. And we just chose one who said he could drive us to Panglao, which was where we stayed. Our first impression of Bohol was that it seemed more religious. I don't even know, that might be because it was Easter, but like in the back of all the tuk-tuks, it was like quotes from the Bible, I believe. You know, the numbers that like describes, the numbers that are like the chapters of the Bible, or like, I don't know, quotes from the Bible. I don't know, you know, we're not religious, so I don't know. I don't want to say anything wrong, but there were like quotes on the back of like every tuk-tuk and car. It hadn't been like that in the other islands we were on, but it might be because of Easter, I don't know. It just seemed more religious, and also it seemed like more established because the conditions of the houses that we were driving past, even though they weren't like in the city, it was good conditions. So I just felt like there were less poor people. I think so. It seemed like more, what's the English word? Yeah, I think, you know, I think you get what I mean, right? Because of Easter, the taxi driver also said that it would be impossible to rent a scooter, and a lot of roads would be closed because there was going to be a parade and stuff like that. And he was like, but I can work, you can pay me and I can come pick you up and take you around the island. And we just also here followed our gut and was like, you know, we take your card and we'll see, but we want to rent a scooter because we like that way of exploring. And it turned out to be very possible to rent a scooter. We did that at our hotel, and we didn't really meet any blockage because of the parade, so it was okay for us. It was, however, a lot of things were closed because of Easter, so that's why we didn't get to do that much. Let's take it in order. We lived in Panglao. We got there. It seemed like a very modern city, but very tiny. Like it was kind of like a short street with a lot of billboards and, you know, lights and like very modern, but it was really short. Like it was packed, which was really weird because the first day we drove around like Panglao, the little island Panglao is on, and then there's Bohol. I think they're like together, but there's like a bridge, so it's two different island, and Panglao is on the small island. So just the first day, because we arrived like in the afternoon, we decided to just go around, and it was not like Panglao is where it happens. Panglao is like the main, it's where shit happens. So yeah, I recommend staying there. So many nice restaurants, a beautiful beach close by, and like restaurants by the beach, which I love. I'm a sucker for that. And yeah, it seemed like it was a lot of entertaining and places to like go out and have a late night if that's your cup of tea. We did that one night with a British couple that we met and actually went out with in Bohol as well. So late nights is possible and really fun. But as we were there and ate and, you know, drank, it was a lot more expensive there actually, for like the food in the restaurants and the beer. So yeah, it was a bit more expensive than the rest of the Philippines, at least the places we went to. I hadn't planned much before we went to the Philippines, because I wanted to be spontaneous. But I did in Bohol. I was sure that we were going to the Chocolate Hills, of course, and then the Tarsier Sanctuary. The Tarsier Sanctuary was closed the days we were there because of Easter. I was so sad because I was so excited to see those cute creatures. So we only did visit the Chocolate Hills. And I get it if you're going around to many places, it's probably best to take a car. But I think I'm very glad that we took a scooter to go to the Chocolate Hills. It was like a 2-3 hour drive, but we stopped at different local markets and a local bakery and yeah, stuff like that. And also we actually said hi to a lot of families that was bathing and having a beautiful day off by the river at one point. Such beautiful nature. So I'm very glad that we took the scooter, because that actually made the experience, I think. As I said, it was a long ride, like 2-3 hours to the Chocolate Hills and then 2-3 hours back. So we didn't think that the Chocolate Hills alone was worth that ride, like that long of a ride. But with the experiences we had on the way, it was. I think a lot of travelers on YouTube paint the Chocolate Hills experience to be like a really like wow moment. And it's pretty cool. It's really cool nature and yeah, cool place. It is on the UNESCO World Heritage List, which is pretty cool. But the way to get there is pretty like, it's a lot of steps you need to go through. So we drove up there and we had to park. You can't drive up, you had to park down, you had to park by the road. And it's like there's so many jobs for things there. Like you have one that's like just stand there and say like, here's the parking, come in. And then you have one that is helping you park or telling you where to park.
And then you go inside to buy tickets to go to the Chocolate Hills and for the shuttle bus that is going up. And you just pay a lady, and the lady goes to another lady who writes your ticket by hand. And then she gives your ticket to the first lady, and then the lady gives us our tickets back. And then you go out, and there's a guy there saying, here's the waiting area for the bus. We sit there, another man comes. He's the door opener for the car, because it's a minibus, yeah. And then you drive up, and then you get out of the car, and then you have to check your tickets again with a lady that stands there.
And then there's just a lot of people. So we weren't there for that long. We went up to the viewpoint, looked around, went down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jürgen filmed with the drone. That was really cool footage. So I'm glad we had that, because I didn't really think the camera, like from the viewpoint, it really didn't get like the landscape that well. So I think the drone was so worth bringing along. Now that's just us. I think because we didn't get to experience anything else, I think the Chocolate Hills was like, we didn't think it was worth the ride, unfortunately, but really cool place. And if you're like going around on a tour, I think it's definitely worth a visit. Due to our scooter adventures, we actually went through the Tagbilaran city a couple of times, but the shops and stuff closed early due to Easter as well. Then there's the churches. There are a lot of different churches which are very, very beautiful. We also got to witness the Easter parade by, I think it's quite a big church in Tagbilaran. We didn't film it, and I didn't even take a picture, I think, because I didn't want to be disrespectful. We are, as I said earlier, not religious. We are atheists, but we have huge respect for believers, and we think religion is very interesting, but we didn't want to make like a touristy thing of it, like filming and taking pictures, because we looked around and people were, you know, really serious about what was going on, and it was important to them. And then we didn't want to go around and like, look at that. We just wanted to be present and like show respect for the traditions, and yeah, show respect for the holiday. So we just looked around and walked past, and you know, but I think that was really special. We don't celebrate Easter like that in Norway. I did mention it, but what you have to do, not only in Bohol, but we did it for the first time in Bohol, was going to a local bakery. There are a few like on the side of the roads. It's so cheap and so good, like some of the best like bakery things I've ever tasted. We were debating swimming with whale sharks, but we had our reservations about it. I know Oslo is a place where you're not supposed to do that because it's very popular, but I don't know, I don't have the right information, but it's something about how the whale sharks are treated. So we didn't do enough research in Bohol to make a final decision, but we decided to just not do that. We enjoyed a couple of calm days by the pool at our hotel and by the beach. I didn't have that much energy, and with the late night with the British couple, that didn't do anything better. It was totally worth it. I felt a lot worse the day after, but it was worth it. So that was Bohol for us. I think it's beautiful, really, really beautiful. Like I think it's the most beautiful like scooter trip we had. I definitely recommend it, but maybe not at Easter if you're not super religious as well, and that is something you want to experience. I think most of the things are closed, and yeah, so I think I covered everything. As I said, the next video will be a similar video about Siargao. Hopefully, if you're going to Bohol, you got something out of this video. The ferry ride on the way back we ordered online because it wasn't that chaotic at Tagbilaran port. So then we ordered online, and that was very easy to do. So yeah, okay, see you in the next video.